Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Holotide here, and today we're going to talk about what is coming to Marathon. Bungie is bringing a new weapon and a new event mode thing. The weapon's called the Firestorm, and the event is called Ordnance Heist. Now, they said they were bringing an experimental mode, and I was hoping that it was like TDM, but this appears to be it. Now, it's kind of weird because I don't know why they're launching such a large event right now, especially when the player count has dropped so low. I don't know if this is supposed to be like them being like, oh, come back to the game, there's a new giant power weapon and stuff like that. But Ordnance Heist is live starting today at 10 a.m. Pacific. It's going to run for 2 weeks before closing in September. And there's a lot to it, but also not really. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy marathon content, make sure you subscribe. We're riding that train until those wheels fall off, or there's wheels on trains. If you enjoy the video, make sure you leave a like, and let's talk about Firestorm and Ordnance Heist. So this is how it's going to work out. Runners will hunt down UESC enemies across different quote-unquote zones and earn currency called UESC manifests. Then you can spend those at 2 different armories, Mida and Traxxas, for gear, implants, weapon chips. And from what I read, the harder the enemy, the better the payout, which, you know, that's pretty standard. But where it gets more involved, I guess, is this key template system. Now, I've complained about how the key templates work before, but here we go again. So you earn templates by fighting, but they almost do nothing. You have to carry it into another map and complete an objective there, and then exfil successfully with that finished template in your inventory. And then it will convert into a Firestorm Locker key. But if you die before you exfil, you get nothing. And not every enemy on perimeter is going to drop that template, but the odds change with the rank of that enemy. So elite have a low chance, commanders a decent chance, wardens, I think I actually read that it's guaranteed to drop, so maybe hit those first. So the fastest way to farm these things is avoid the low tier stuff and just go after the big boys. So the fastest path to getting this all done is 3 successful runs in a row. You can get more than 1 template per run, but there's also a little bonus, it seems like, that is baked into this. If you exfil while running a Mida or Traxxas sponsored kit, you get 15 extra manifests on top of whatever you brought out, which is kind of cool. I actually really like that. We're going to get into all the things that I think might be wrong with this later in the video, but once you've done that, once you've collected 3 Firestorm Locker keys, you can take them to one of 3 lockers on perimeter, dire marsh, or outposts, and that's where it gets even more fun. It looks like other crews will be hunting for the same locker in the same little gameplay loop, so you'll be able to either just wipe people out or try to negotiate, which in Marathon there is no negotiation. But they're creating these artificial choke points where, you know, these runners, these teams are all coming to the same section of the map, the same area. And quite honestly, I can see how this is going to be frustrating, because instead of just rushing in there or whatever, trying to be the first one, I can see teams just like camping out and watching people go to it and then wiping that team because they're set up, taking all their gear, and then getting the new weapon. We'll see what happens with that. I can see a lot of people getting salty. But once you're able to open up the locker, you get the Firestorm. This is the first power weapon in Marathon. It is a quote-unquote heavily modified hardline with 3 contraband mods. It also comes with a little sniper scope. One of the chips turns every round into an incendiary round that detonates on impact and will generate heat against other runners. The magazine holds exactly 6 shots. There's no reload. There's no, ammo on the map that you can find for it. Once it's empty, it's done. So the only choice that you have left is whether you spend, part of your backpack trying to carry this thing out for credits, or you just get rid of it. But I don't know. Does a 6-shot, no, reload power weapon sound fun to fight with or against? I'm sure it's going to be fun to use, but like dying to it is probably not going to feel good. I'm sure there's going to be a ton of clips on Twitter and stuff, showing it off. We'll see. The manifest economy in those like Traxxas and Mida stores will also have superior implants and chip mods that are kind of tied to the mechanic that Firestorm will introduce. Backdraft rewards bonus damage against overheated enemies. Chain reaction spreads an explosion to nearby hostiles when you kill an overheated target. Nervous energy stacks movement speed bonuses off of cardio kick eliminations. And Ego Challenge improves handling as your magazine empties, which sounds like it's going to be sick on something like the Bully. And all of that is to say that this doesn't really feel like a 2-week event kind of thing. It feels like Bungie is testing a lot of these mechanics for future weapon archetypes or something like that that are going to be coming later, down the line. So why is Bungie adding this mode? Well, we got Vault Breakers, and obviously that was a pretty exciting time for the people that enjoy PvE. Got the Steam concurrence up to like 15K. That's like the highest the game had been since the free-to-play week back in June. It's cycling out. This is coming in. Ordnance Heist closes in September. Season 2 doesn't end until September like 22nd. So it feels like they're just throwing this in there to kind of, kill some dead air space. I am excited that we get a power weapon. I think that they need to, keep looking at how to add things like that into the game. They do put a lot into, like, the event economies and stuff like that as well. So I can appreciate that. It's not just, like, a very simple thing that they're doing. But I expect a short little bump and then, it to kind of go back to normal. What about you guys? Does the Ordnance Heist actually move the needle on player count the way that Vault Breaker did, or is this going to be a smaller draw? Do you think people aren't going to be as excited to play with a power weapon or even just try to get it because it seems kind of, I think for the casual player, they're going to look at this and be like, I'll never use that weapon. But that's it. That's Ordnance Heist and the Firestorm. It's a 2-week hunt for a weapon that's kind of just designed to disappear. It's like scrapped pretty much after a match. We'll see how this does. I'm gonna hop in. I'm gonna play it. Obviously, the store is getting like a very wanted destroyer skin, so I'm sure people are gonna log in and buy that. How crazy would it be if Marathon got back into like the top 50 for like games that make the most money again on Steam because of that? Who knows? But that's going to do it for the video, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed, leave a like down below. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.